Hey, greetings once again, Bolton High. Joe Maselli here with some more updates as we're getting closer and closer to the start of school. I want to talk about the learning modes. These were discussed in the document you all saw, the state plan the superintendent sent out. It's posted on our website. I want to go into a little more detail on that, and I also want to answer the first round of questions that were asked. So let's jump right in, and let's talk about the four types. So there's in school. We're here. Going to run a little bit of a different schedule this year, as we've mentioned. We're going to go over that. Remote learning, well, that's when you're choosing to stay home while we're all here. A hybrid, that's when we bring in some of the students and some work at home. And then distance learning. So those are four different things. Let's talk about them. So in-school learning, we've adjusted the school day. As I think you've known, we're going to do 7:35 to 1:35. That's Monday through Friday. There's going to be a belt schedule every day. So we're going to reduce transitions. We're only going to have 4 classes per day. As I mentioned in my last informational video, the classes will be scheduled into grades, cohort wings. So each grade will have their own wing of the school. We will run connections on Wednesdays, and the schedule will look something like this. So there's the time frames. Again, time's adjusted a little bit because of the different times of starting and stopping. Wednesday will look a little different. We're going to stick belt in on Wednesday. We're working out the details of when to put that in, and school's over at 1:35. Okay, so what will happen the following week, though, after, say, this is the first full week of school, we'll jump back, and Monday will be a belt B, Tuesday belt A. So basically, we'll alternate A and B belt days regardless of the day of the week. But anytime there's a Wednesday, we'll take some time out for connections. So that's if we're in school. Remote learning. This is where there's a family decision to learn from home while school is open. Lots of good reasons to do that. And if that's what the family decides to do, you will be using remote learning. So you'll follow that same schedule, the exact same schedule you just saw, the belt schedule. That's how that'll work. And students will watch live stream. So we're experimenting with some cameras and some microphones. And basically, you will be at home. If your class is at 7:35, you'll get online at 7:35 into your Google Classroom, and you'll watch from there. If you decide you want to come back to the in-school mode, that's absolutely fine. You'll always be welcome back. But as you saw in the plans, we do need some notice ahead of time as we're trying to manage things in the building during these crazy pandemic times. You may participate in athletics. The CIAC sent out some recent information. I'm going to put a link down below in the description. They've basically spelled out a late start and an early finish. It's only about 6-week athletic contests. And whether you're in school or you're learning from home, you can participate in that. But I'll send some information about the CIAC decisions on that. I'll put a link in for that. And really, if you've decided to do the remote learning, you need to take the initiative to monitor all the posts in the Google Classrooms and use email to stay in touch with your teacher. Okay, so that's remote while school is open. If the decision is made to go to hybrid, here's what it's going to look like. Our goal is to get the population of the school down to about 50% of what it normally is for students. The way we're going to do that is we're going to split by alphabet, and we're going to do that alphabet split the same way Bolton Center School is, and that's to support our families. Maybe there's a high schooler who can then be home at the same time as a younger child to help out at home. And that split will be A through K will be in school on Mondays and Thursdays, J through M Tuesdays and Fridays. And we're going to look at a schedule on the next slide, but teachers will increase the use of distance learning strategies while we're in the hybrid model. All students learning from home will be on Wednesdays. And again, that makes a little more sense when you look here at the schedule. So a little bit different rotation. So both Monday and Tuesday are belt A days, but the first group, A through K, on Monday, the second group, L through C, on Tuesday, belt B on Thursday and Friday, again with that alphabetical split. All students, and a virtual connections on Wednesday. Okay, so that is the plan. If there are special circumstances and you need to switch from the AK to the LZ group, not based on your last name, we can certainly review any of those specific requests. But we did do that split to be aligned with Bolton Center School. So let's say the school is now closed. Now we're into distance learning. Okay, that's all students learning from home. We will create a good schedule that will support online learning. We will all be using Google Classroom. That'll be the main platform for all of that. And we're going to take all of the experiences from distance learning last spring. I think the faculty at Bolton High School did an exemplary job, especially with short notice. But we also learned a lot. And we'll build a schedule, and we'll build strategy, and we'll gather resources based on what we learned from last year. And that's one of the things that I'm working on this week and next week with our academic leaders. So some questions had come in after the first video, so let's talk about these. What kind of masks are acceptable? So the language in the plan says masks that are held securely around the nose and mouth. So a cotton face mask is acceptable. A disposable paper mask is acceptable. A gator-style mask is also acceptable. What would not be acceptable would be a bandana, because a bandana, although it may be held securely around the nose, hangs open at the bottom. Okay, so anything that is held securely against the face over the nose and mouth would be acceptable. I addressed this, but let me say it again. If a family chooses to keep a student home and do the remote learning, yes, you can participate in athletics. We'll have to figure out the timing and all those kinds of things. We'll be cleaning. What about the student cleaning? So I mentioned part of this, but let me review it again. At the beginning of each day, students will retrieve their shield from on top of their locker and clean it immediately. That's to start the day sanitized, ready to go. As students end a particular class period, the teacher will spray some of the approved disinfectant on the desk and issue some paper towels. And students will be wiping down the desktops every single period in preparation for the next student coming in, and welcome to clean their shields as necessary during the day, but always first thing in the morning. And the last question that came in was about busing. Again, in the plan, you saw that we're going to load the buses back to front wherever possible. Masks will be required. We are obviously be adjusting the time of the buses because we've adjusted the school day. The bus company will reissue timing for stops, and we'll be getting that information out at the beginning of the year, as we always do. We're waiting to hear back from Columbia on how they're going to set up buses. They may or may not be keeping with the hub system, especially in the afternoon if we're dismissing 45 minutes early. So stay tuned for that. I've been in close communication with both the bus company and the leadership in Columbia about that. And we're also waiting to hear back from the Hartford Transportation. Not sure which company they're using this year. They change a lot. One thing that's important to note is that students coming on buses will have to stay on the bus in the morning until 7:25. Not like the old days, whenever the bus came in, students would welcome in the building and hang out in the Commons. The Commons is not open for students to hang out in the morning. So just like has always been done at the elementary level, until their staff ready to go, students will remain on the buses. So keep those questions coming. Always happy to answer them. I will have some more information out later this week as we continue to develop plans. We're going to talk about some specifics of the school day. We're going to talk a little bit more about how the cohorts are set up, transitions, lunch, those kinds of things. So if you have questions or you need anything at all, there's my email address and the email address for my partner, Christine Johnson, our Dean of Students. I hope that you are all keeping safe, and please stay in touch, and school's right around the corner. We'll see you soon.